What is up, guys, and welcome to my very first episode of this F1 2016 career mode. I'm so excited to start this. I mean, we haven't had a proper career mode since F1 2014, and even then that career mode wasn't exactly the greatest. F1 2015's career mode was literally just jumping in as a driver who wasn't yourself and sort of going from there. So this time, career mode is all about you. You go through the path to try and be the world champion and being the best F1 driver possible. So let's jump straight into the F1 2016 career mode. So this year on F1 2016, you get to create your own driver, get your number, get your helmet and stuff like that. So you get to choose your own avatar, which will represent you if you get on the podium and stuff like that in the press sort of stuff that was before and after races. You also get to choose your own helmet and design different colours. You get many more helmets to choose from, because if you get the career boost in the limited edition, which I did have, but for some reason it wasn't giving me all the helmets, so I just jumped on. But I preferred the look of this one anyway. I thought this was a pretty cool looking helmet, so I'm going to be right back when we change up the design. So this is the helmet that I've gone for, a bit of blue, a bit of white and a bit of gold, so I think that looks very nice, and it looks very nice on the other shot when I back out of this. So there we go, that's what it looks like. And I think it's a pretty cool helmet. I quite like the design that I have got on there, and I'm pretty happy with that. Now, nationality and region, obviously I am British, so I'm going to choose that. Now, driver number, I wanted to go for number 6. That is, of course, my favourite number. However, Nico Rosberg already has that, so I wasn't too sure what numbers to go for. I was looking down through the numbers, and I was thinking maybe 60 or 66, or be a bit funny, go for 69. But, yeah, so I just decided I'd probably just go for number 4, which is the day of my birth. So I thought I'd go for number 4. Let's go for that number and have that on the side of my car. Name, we're obviously going to go for my name, which is, of course, Hayden Gullis. And, yep, so that's pretty simple there. An abbreviated name, I'm just going to go for what they do in real-life Formula 1, where they use the first 3 digits of their last name. So that's what I'm going to go for. Goal as my abbreviated name, and let's get into this career mode. Now, choosing the team that I'm going to drive for. Some of you already know who I will be driving for this season because I tweeted about it. I've also said it in videos gone by, but we are, of course, driving for the banana car. Yes, that's right, we are driving for Renault Sport in this 2016 career mode alongside Jolyon Palmer, because he is also British as well. So let's get started in this career mode.
Hi, I'm Emma Jenkins. I'm a specialist in contract law, and I've been brought in to work as your agent. I'll be working to get you the best deal in the boardroom, which means you need to do the best possible job out there on the circuit. When you get new contract offers, either from new teams or an amendment to your existing offer, it'll come through me. I'll also keep you up to date on discussions behind the scenes to change your terms, or any specific goals that the team has set for you. If a contract offer does come through, I'll present to you the available offers, and then you can make the call. I assume that all sounds fine. Well then, good luck this season, and I'll catch you later.
Okay, so that is our agent, and she deals with all our contracts and stuff like that. We've got a new contract. Welcome to Renault Sport Formula 1 team. We are delighted to have you on board and look forward to working closely with you over the upcoming season. You will start as our second driver alongside your teammate Jolyon Palmer, and I didn't get to read the rest of it. But yes, so we will be driving for Renault alongside Jolyon Palmer. This is the laptops. This is the new sort of hub menu in F1 2016. Just looking through the different sort of stuff. You have your tyres on the left-hand side, weather forecast, and stuff like that. You have the rivalry in the middle, which will be probably against Jolyon Palmer because he is our teammate. And then you have all the stuff on the right-hand side, so your races, championship points, and how you are doing against the team's expectations. Nothing really else to talk about on this menu screen, so let's head into practice 1 and talk about what's in there.
We're about to join the action in what is sure to be an interesting practice session here in Melbourne. It's not long until we get the session underway, and we'll have some cars appearing out on the track. I'm here with Anthony Davidson once again. Nice to see you, Ant, and I wanted to ask you about how you go about improving the car over the course of a practice session. How much would you say is already known from the pre-race simulations, and how much do you have to do, how much do you have to work on with a real car on a real circuit?
Well, that's a good question, Crofty, and I suppose the simple answer is that there's no such thing as too much information. As you say, the bigger teams have very complex simulations, vast numbers of clever people crunching the numbers back at base, but what they can't tell you is stuff like how the track condition's going to be, or what the temperature's going to be doing over the course of the day, and how all of that's going to be interacting with the tyre. There are so many millions of tiny variables involved in getting these cars around a racetrack quickly, but the computer can't tailor the car to a driver's specific balance requirements. At some point, you still need to put a human being in there and have them feel it through the seat of their pants. And that's why we end up with different drivers having different setups. So what I'm trying to say is, Crofty, nothing beats on-track testing.
Okay, good to have you on board. I'm Jeff and I'll be your race engineer. Welcome to the team, and to Formula One. I'm really looking forward to the season. Our system checks are A-OK, so we can get underway whenever you like.
Thank you, Jeff. Right, getting into this first practice session on F1 2016, we have new stuff on F1 2016. You've got track climatization, tyre management, and qualifying pace, and you have also team objectives there as well. All to do in the practice sessions, and if you complete all of these, depending whether it's purple, green, you get R&D points to help develop your cars. Here we go, going for our first lap on the track acclimatization. So going through the first couple of corners, nice and tidy, just about getting that gate there through turn 2 and getting the DRS open. Nice. We've got 2 purples at the moment and 1 green. So far, so good. Going into this right-hander of turn 3. So far, okay. Is this one going to be purple? Yes, we get another purple for number 3. Not going to be a purple for number 4. Losing the back end just a little bit as we get it on the curbs through turn 5, through turn 6, and down towards turn 7 and 8 now. So far, so good in this track acclimatization program. I think we could be on board to get a green in this practice session objective. So that's really good. That would mean that we would get some research and development points to help boost up this Renault car. In terms of research and development, I think I'm probably going to go for more straight line speed at the moment. We know the Renault engine isn't exactly the most powerful, but coming up we've got tracks like Bahrain, we've got China, which has a really long straight, Austria, that will be coming up as well. So we need to sort of go for those tracks which have straight line speeds, and from Austria onwards, I think we'll start to focus on the aerodynamics of the car. But just for now, we're going to go for straight line speeds like engine and the drag and that sort of stuff. That's what we're going to decide to base our research and development on. But here we go, coming into the last couple of corners, and I think so far so good. I think we have beaten the objective for this track acclimatization, so it should be good now. Yes, there we go. So we've already beat it with 365, 385, and down towards line. I don't think it's going to be enough to beat the purple setting. No, it's not. It's 470 to beat purple, so we haven't quite beaten that, but we're going to go out for a couple more laps and see if we can beat the purple lap time, the purple track acclimatization race objective. And here we go, coming down towards the line. We've beaten it already. It's a 475 coming across the line. There we go, beating it by just only 5 points, but still that's enough for purple, and that really helps us out with research and development on this car. The other objectives to do in this practice session are the tyre management. Now, tyre management I really struggle with. I'm not too sure how you guys feel about it, but it's not the tyre wear that's the problem for me. I'm quite good at keeping the tyres okay. It's the lap times for me. Maybe it's because I'm just being too easy on the tyres, and I'm just not getting the lap times at the moment. So maybe I should push it a little bit more and just settle for the greens. But I just wasn't getting the lap times. I mean, it was okay through those sections, and you can see the bar moving at the top, going from purple down to green. Like if you lose the back end, you slide. But there we go. We failed because of the lap time. We got it in the purple, but we didn't get it in the lap time. This time, though, we managed to get it in the green, so that was pretty good. Just about missing out on purple, but through turn 1 and turn 2. And crossing the line once again, getting a purple this time. So now we are starting to pick it up. But then this is where it sort of goes badly. Losing the back end just a little bit through this corner. You can see, there we go, the red, the circle going all the way from purple down to red because of that massive slide through turn 2. And there we go, dropping another lap. We got 3 laps to get the target score of 60, and we're currently on 25. I don't think it's going to be possible, as we are already down 3 seconds on the lap time there on that lap. And I don't think it is now possible to beat the target score, which is really, really disappointing. I was really, really struggling with this race objective. So unfortunately, that was the case. And that was the end of the practice session, finishing down in 22nd position behind Felipe Nasr, Marcus Ericsson, Ria Harrianto, and Jolyon Palmer, and Pascal Wehrlein. Those are the guys that we are going to be battling with at the moment. And here's an introduction to the research and development points. We got quite a lot for what we did in practice, even though we didn't actually do a lot. We didn't do the qualifying or the tyre management one. So that was pretty good. We got 542 research points overall. So that is really, really good indeed.
Hi. Good to meet you at last. My name's Chris, and I'll be working with you as your Chief of Vehicle Development. It'll be my job to get your feedback as a driver and to direct our upgrade design in the areas that you feel are most lacking. At each Grand Prix, we can run a series of practice programs and log the performance of the car as you drive it at its limit. This gives us data that we can utilize to develop various performance improvements. In order for me to know which upgrades to prioritize, I'll need you to select a development area that you'd like us to focus on. And you can do that in the R&D section of your laptop. Anyway, that's all for now, but I'll keep you up to date, okay? I'll see you soon.
So that is Chris, and he is our research and development guy. So anything that we want to help improve the car, we go to Chris and we get him to sort it out for us. So here we go, looking at the laptop with all the upgrades that we're going to have. So we've got the engine power first. I'm just having a look through the hub at the moment. But we've got the engine power, fuel efficiency, chassis weight, downforce, and drag. So I said earlier on, I wanted to go for more straight line speed. So I think going for the engine one is probably the best at the moment. Use all the research points that we have to improve that engine. Fuel efficiency I don't think will be too bad for now. We might want to have a look at it later on as the season progresses. But for now, we're going to just ignore the fuel efficiency. Chassis weight, I'm not too sure about that at the moment. I think I might do that more towards Austria when more downforce circuits come into it, same as the downforce one, and the drag we'll probably do later on in the season as well. But we're going to upgrade our engine, and hopefully that can really help us improve in game, because it's already gained quite a bit on the Haas Formula 1 team. But the other teams don't really improve until, I think, Spain, when, you know, they usually get their big research and development points. But here we go, just having a look through all the different bits on the hub. There you go, we've got the trophies. You can see where you place in every one of those races. And if you win, obviously, I guess that will highlight that you've won and you've got the trophy for that race. And there's a little tutorial bit there. But I think there's everything from this session, from this hub. So I think we should go into, it's either qualifying or practice 2. Let's go into practice 2 and see what happens in there. Right then, so here we are on practice 2, doing the qualifying pace program. And I struggle with this one as well. I think it might be because I've got it on legend difficulty, and I don't think I'm up to pace with legend difficulty at the moment. I'm only really sort of expert, as I've only just jumped on the game, so we might dial it down when we see how qualifying goes. But coming into the first lap, and we unfortunately failed that one, so that was a little bit disappointing that we couldn't get the qualifying objectives. And there we go, ending our practice session once again, not really passing any of our team objectives. And we got 10 points for a penalty-free session though, which was pretty good.
Hey, looks like you've got a bit of rivalry going on out there. This is good. Gets people talking about you. Just make sure you outperform them, okay?
Will do, Emma. I will definitely do that. So we've got a driver rivalry, which I presume this is Julian Palmer. Yes, it is our teammate who is sitting right in front of us talking to David Croft over there. So that's the great thing about this this area in the paddock.
Hi, it's Emma. Your qualifying goals came up in the board meeting this morning. Here's what to expect.
Okay, thank you, Emma, once again. So qualifying goals for qualifying, obviously. Qualify 17th or higher and beat our teammate Julian Palmer as well. So let's head into qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. This is the kind of track that eats rear tyres for breakfast, or so I'm told by more experienced drivers than myself.
Well, tyre management is key here, specifically the rears. It's all too easy to overheat and wear the rear tyres as they're punished out of the low-speed corners. Most teams won't be able to avoid some kind of issue here, especially the teams that are running less downforce.
So here we go, qualifying time for our first ever race on F1 2016. We're going to need a good qualifying session. We want to beat our teammate and we want to get out of the Q1 drop zone in 17th position. Is it 17th or 16th? I'm not too sure. We'll find out as the session goes on. But we're obviously going to go on the super soft tyres just because this Renault is not fast enough to go in the first session on softs. You have to go on super softs and just really put in the best lap. I'm going to go for more of a balanced setup, I think, at the moment. Or am I going to go for preset 4? No, I think we're going to go for more of a balanced setup just because I'm not quite up to speed. I'm not really the best when it comes to making setups as well. So I'll probably have to look around to find those in the future of this career mode. But just looking through the very nice menu of this career mode, it's much better on the live feed as well. Instead of just being on board with the driver, you can see the actual TV cameras as well, which is really, really nice. But let's get into the first couple of laps of this qualifying session. Right, so here we go, ending our first lap here in Q1. Coming down towards the line, it's not the greatest of laps there. It's a 1:30.852, and unfortunately, that is behind Rio Haryanto in the Manor, which is really, really disappointing. So we're going to go out on this next lap and try and improve, which we're coming through the final corner now, taking a lot of curb on the left-hand side. Going down towards the line, I think it is going to be an improvement. It is. It's a 1:29.541. It is enough to beat Rio Haryanto. Currently behind our teammate Julian Palmer, we just see a Haas driver, Roman Grosjean, just shooting up the inside there in towards turn 1. So we back out of this lap because our tyres, we don't want to ruin our tyres and we don't want to run out of fuel. But now coming down to the line for our final lap here in this Q1 session. Will we get out of qualifying 1 down towards the line? I don't think we have. We're just going to have to wait for confirmation on that. Where was that lap good enough? Only 20th position here in qualifying. So a very, very disappointing first qualifying session here in Australia. So here we go, having a look at the standings of Q1. Nico Rosberg, he tops the timesheets in first, but it doesn't really matter for all the other drivers. So we're just going to move down to who dropped out. So Felipe Nasr in 17th, Marcus Ericsson in 18th, we've got Julian Palmer 19th, myself in 20th, Pascal Wehrlein in 21st, and Rio Haryanto right at the back in 22nd. So it just sort of went Sauber, Renault and Manor. Unfortunately, we just did not have the pace in this Renault to really compete. And to be fair, that lap time, there was quite a few corner cuts in there. As I'm just getting used to the track, there was quite a few corner cuts in there as well. So what I'm going to do, I am going to turn it down to expert level for the race, and then from the future, and we'll probably look to dial it back up to legend at around the Russian Grand Prix, but we'll just wait and see how the season goes on. But that is it for qualifying. Let's head into the race and see what we can do from 20th on the grid.
The atmosphere is heavy with expectation and anticipation, and bearing the weight of that burden today is a place we know very well indeed. It's Albert Park. The story of the season begins here then with the Australian Grand Prix, and it's time for the first chapter to be written. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, a former F1 competitor, man who was world champion once upon a time as well, and an all-round top chap. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, the first time racing these cars. So what are the big questions that need to be answered here, in your view?
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction. I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here, and I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, to answer your question, obviously there's the question of performance in race trim, but really this is going to be all about reliability. It's the first Grand Prix of the season, don't forget.
Thank you, Emma. Once again, Emma.
Components to their limits. Formula One cars are full of very sophisticated but also very sensitive technology. So the most important thing today is to get to the end of the race, keep everything in good condition, and try to stay out of trouble while you're at it.
You qualified higher than we were expecting, so see if you can keep this position in the race.
What do you mean we qualified higher than you were expecting? I qualified in 20th position. Hang on, why are we in 14th? Why did a lot of people get penalties in qualifying then? Some people must be got penalties in like qualifying and practice then, because we are up into 14th. That is really, really strange. But you know what? I'm not complaining that we're up into 14th. That really helps us out from down to 20th up into 14th in this qualifying session. I will definitely take that. But let's have a look at the race strategy for today's race. Right, so here we go. The race strategy for today's race. The team want me to do softs, then mediums. Do a one-stop strategy instead of a two-stop strategy. And I think that is probably the best idea as well. The two-stop strategy is a very, very aggressive one. But being a back marker, I don't think that is the best strategy to go for. So I think I'm going to agree with the team. Go for a one-stop strategy. A bit of a cautious one. And try and get track position on the other guys, and then see if we can hold it and sort of defend our position throughout as the race goes on. But let's hit into our first race in this F1 2015 career mode, holding down the clutch, getting away for the formation lap, and we've got Julian Palmer there on the left hand side just ahead of us as well. So the two Renaults gained massively after the penalties from qualifying. I'm guessing practice as well, as we're now behind Julian Palmer, just weaving the car, just trying to warm up the tyres, keep the tyres up to temperature as well. We don't want to go into the back of our teammate or lose the car anywhere else on track as we go through turn 1 now. Very, very slow on this formation lap, just trying to build up the temperatures throughout the car, through the tyres, through the brakes, and then coming into this right-hander. Julian Palmer's slowing down massively, so we decide to weave the car just a little bit, losing the back end already on this formation lap, putting it into the wall, and I'm guessing there is no damage on the formation lap, because we should have definitely lost our front wing there going into the wall at that sort of speed. We've got Felipe Nasr, who has now overtaken us on the formation lap and cutting ahead just a little bit further on this formation lap, coming into the chicane section, going into the back of Felipe Nasr, and then the game takes over from me. So that's the formation lap done. So here we go. The lights starting to come on for our first race on F1 2016. Lights out and away we go here at the Australian Grand Prix. And it's a great start compared to the Force India driver of Sergio Perez. Going down towards turn 1. Can we get the jump on Sergio Perez? Going up the outside of the Force India driver. Julian Palmer on my left-hand side as well. Getting caught up behind Fernando Alonso and Nico Hülkenberg as well. I think there was contact with Sergio Perez going in towards turn 1. Julian Palmer then gets a better drive out of the corner than we have, but down in towards turn 3. Much better under braking than my teammate. Side by side with Fernando Alonso. Can we hold it round the outside of turn 4? Yes, we can, but he's got a good drive out of that corner and manages to take away P11 from us. So we're going to have to come back at Fernando Alonso if we want to take P11 from him. We're not too far away from the points at the moment, but let's have a look at a replay of what's happened at the start. So Sergio Perez not getting a good start off the line. I'm not too sure if that was a Williams up ahead that got a great start moving into the middle, but going down in towards turn 1, there you can see me shooting up the inside. It's side by side with Sergio Perez, and there's just not a lot of room there going into turn 1, and unfortunately Sergio Perez has lost out massively because of that. He's now at the back of the pack and quite a way off, but luckily there is no damage on his Force India car. But we're following behind Fernando Alonso at the moment, coming through this chicane section. Nice and tidy through there compared to Fernando Alonso, but he did get a good drive out of the second phase of the chicane just to shoot up down the road. Julian Palmer still very much behind me. There you go, you can see my teammate behind me as well. Both of the Renault drivers sporting blue helmets, so it is a little bit difficult to tell which one's which, but there we go. My one is the white and gold one, whereas Julian Palmer's has quite a bit of red on it as well. And he's also on the super soft tyres in this race, so he looks like he's going for more of a 2-stop strategy, whereas I'm going for the 1-stop, which is good for the two drivers because that means that we won't get caught up in the pit lane. So it means that I won't hold him up in a pit stop, or he won't hold me up, or I won't have to wait an extra lap, or he won't have to wait an extra lap. But there we go, first lap done on F1 2016. We're in P12. It's not too bad for this race, and now on board with Pascal Wehrlein in the manor, going down towards turn 1. We cut ahead just a couple of laps. The train is still there behind me, and oh my god, Pascal Wehrlein's engine has blown up right behind him there, and that is him out of the race, the first race of F1 2016, and we've already had one engine blowout on lap 3. But now we're following behind Nico Hülkenberg and Fernando Alonso. We're going side by side in towards turn 5. We back out of it just a little bit and we get a good drive through the corners. The two guys are too busy battling each other. And there we go, shooting past both of them up into P10. We are into the points, baby. We are into the points in our first ever race on F1 2016. This is fantastic news as we try now to catch up to Felipe Massa, who's quite a way up the road. And now we're cutting ahead to lap 5. We've got Fernando Alonso right behind us going down the DRS straight. Is he going to go for a move down in towards turn 1, following in the slipstream and the DRS down in towards turn 1, and Fernando Alonso diving it up the inside. Now we need to follow behind the McLaren driver, which we are doing very, very well right now. Right in his slipstream, right up in his gearbox. Are we going to move over to the right-hand side, out of the slipstream, down in towards turn 3, under braking. So much better than the McLaren driver, and just squeezing him out just a little bit on the exit. And there we go, maintaining P10 for the time being. We are not giving up on these points in my first ever race on F1 2016. We need these points to help us in the research and development as well. But we're currently in P10. Looks like there's a couple of drivers in the pits right now on lap 6. So we're going to get past all of these guys, jump up into P5, just ahead of Nico Rosberg, who has come into the pits as well. 21 runners left in this race, of course, because Pascal Wehrlein crashed down. We're just going to put it down into standard mix as we've got Nico Rosberg going round the outside in towards this right-hander, and that is how he got back past us and moved up in to 4th position in this race. But we've now moved up into 3rd because of other guys coming into the pits. We've got Max Verstappen right behind us as we check the race information on everybody else and who we are driving against. We've got Max Verstappen right behind us in the Red Bull. Surely he'll be going for a move very, very soon. He's going to do this very, very similar move to what Nico Rosberg did, down in towards this right-hander, holding it around the outside. But we're not really going to fight the Red Bull driver too much because we're not really battling with him in this race at the moment. I mean, we could be battling with him when we go onto the medium tyres because he's going to have to make another pit stop. But the pace of that Red Bull, I doubt that we are going to see him again in this race. Sebastian Vettel's still right behind us though, so we are going to. He's going to have to go for an overtake down this pit straight. I'm not going to hand the position to him. I'm not going to slow down for him. If he wants to go for an overtake, he's going to have to go round the outside and come off the racing line to do it, which he does over on the right hand side, down in towards turn 1, and there we go. Sebastian Vettel up into P4 in this Australian Grand Prix. We're down into P5, which isn't too disappointing. That is a fantastic result for us at the moment in this Renault. We're sort of doing what Roman Grosjean did in the real-life Australian Grand Prix. But here we go, coming into pits. Oh my god, getting very, very close to the pit entry wall there on the left-hand side. And not very good entry into the pits. Very, very slow and nearly overshooting the mark as well. You know, we went back on the accelerator because we saw that we were so far down and got to 36 miles an hour, which was one under the target that we needed. But for the pit stop, it's a 3.03 second stop, which is a very, very good stop there from the Renault team. But there can be improvements, so we're going to be looking as the season goes on to try and get in towards the 2s and maybe even into the 1s, because I've seen 1 second stops on this game, which is absolutely amazing, but we'll be hoping to get into those as well. But we're coming back out of the pits behind Fernando Alonso, who's currently in 12th, ahead of Jolyon Palmer, our teammate, who's quite a bit behind us in 14th. So we've had a good pit stop and a good first initial run on the soft tyres. Announced lap 13, there's more drivers coming to the pits. Gutierrez, and I think that was Sergio Perez as well, as we move back up into P11 in this race. And another driver in the pits, Danny Kvyat, into the pit lane. That puts us back up into the point in P10. Now we've caught up to Daniel Ricciardo, who had a problem on his car. My engineer said earlier on in the race that Daniel Ricciardo had a problem on his car. They didn't unfortunately say what sort of problem it was, so I can't tell you that. But I just know that Daniel Ricciardo has a problem. As we go around the outside in towards the chicane, he squeezed us out right up against the wall there. Very, very lucky not to get any damage on this Renault. Very, very lucky not to lose a front wing or anything, or even lose a wheel, because we have got it on simulation damage. So we were very, very lucky not to have anything happen to us there. But we've moved up into P9 ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, who will be following behind us. But because he's got a problem, unfortunately, Daniel Ricciardo wasn't able to catch up to us. But there we go. The race engineer telling us that Valtteri Bottas has a bit of minor damage to his front wing as we move up into 8th position in this Australian Grand Prix, following behind the Williams driver, getting very, very close to him right now. Can we possibly be going for a move anytime soon, or losing the back end just a little bit as we've tried to go round the outside into that right-hander, coming in towards this right-hander now? Under braking nice and tidy, keeping it close behind the Williams driver of Valtteri Bottas. He gets a good exit out of that corner though, so it's going to be very, very difficult to get the Williams driver in a straight line, because we know the Williams is very, very quick in a straight line. It doesn't have a lot of downforce, but that really, really helps it down the straights. And now we're just trying to follow behind Valtteri Bottas now, just trying to find a little gap to try and dive it up the inside or something. And just very, very close to Valtteri Bottas right now. We're just trying to keep it behind him, stay as close as we possibly can as we get towards the DRS zone, and hope that we can try and use DRS to get past him in towards this left-hander now. And Valtteri Bottas still holding P7 for the time being. He has a little bit of front wing damage, so that is harming his race at the moment. That's why the Williams driver is in a battle with us. Otherwise, if he didn't have that front wing damage, he would have been miles up the road and there would be no chance of us battling with him. But moving to the right-hand side, going up the inside of Valtteri Bottas. And there we go, job done. He's given us a lot of room there, driven himself off the tracks. We're on board with Sebastian Vettel, who has blown up his engine there. Not too sure why that's happened, but Sebastian Vettel has blown up his engine, and that's brought out a virtual safety car. My first ever virtual safety car on F1 2016. We need to reduce our speed because the delta time is a little bit negative at the moment, but there we go. It's back up into positive, and it's just a bit of a struggle to keep that positive, you know, because sometimes you're going through corners, you're backing off, and then you back off too much, and it goes up to like 6, and you're getting really worried that you're going to be quite slow. So then you shoot up, and then it goes very, very close to being negative again. So it's just a little bit of a hassle. And there is Sebastian Vettel on the left-hand side as we cut ahead to lap 21 with more drivers into the pits. Felipe Massa now into the pit lane, and here we go on board with Carlos Sainz, following behind the stricken Williams of Valtteri Bottas, but he's finally got past him. Carlos Sainz was actually held up by Valtteri Bottas for quite a long time. Otherwise, he probably would have caught up to us a lot earlier, but now he is on the hunt for us. And now on board with Felipe Massa on those very, very new super soft tyres. He is hunting down the Haas car of Roman Grosjean, and he should be able to get past him fairly easy. He's going like a bullet at the moment, Felipe Massa, just trying to get through the field and trying to get as many positions as possible in this race. He's got past Roman Grosjean very, very easy up the inside there, and he moves up into what I believe is P6 in this race. As we're now back on board with Felipe Massa. He's caught up to the back of Carlos Sainz Jr. Be looking to go for a move very, very soon on the Toro Rosso drive. And then as soon as he's got past him, I'm sure he will be on the back of our Renault car as well. But Felipe Massa doing a good job in this Australian Grand Prix. Moving to the right-hand side and getting the job done pretty much before he's even got into turn 1. Carlos Sainz trying to just hold it around the outside, but not being able to do anything through that corner. And now we are cutting ahead to lap 27. 3 laps left to go in this Australian Grand Prix, and we have Felipe Massa right on our tail as we go through turn 3 now. Felipe Massa's so much quicker on those super soft tyres. We're going to have to do a really good job of defending in this race to try and help and stay in 5th position right now. But Felipe Massa's so much quicker on those super soft tyres out of corners and just dealing with traction and stuff. So it's going to be really, really difficult to hold him back. But we're going to try our best through the corners to try and get every single apex on this corner. But Felipe Massa just having a little look up the inside there, but not quite being able to go for the move. In towards this right hand and getting a little bit caught on the curb. That's going to allow Felipe Massa to have a good run on us down in towards the next chicane. Here he goes, moving to the right hand side. Can we hold off the Williams driver of Felipe Massa? We're holding it on the left hand side, going into the chicane now up the inside, taking a little bit too much on the curb there on the left hand side, but Felipe Massa gives us the position and we've managed to hold on to it for the time being, but he will come back at us down in towards this right hand. A similar sort of move to what Nico Rosberg did earlier on in the race, round the outside, and there we go. Felipe Massa has got the job done and is up into 5th position in this race. But we're going to try and hold on to him as much as we possibly can. See if we can possibly get a move down the DRS zone, but I don't think that's going to be possible. We've just lost quite a bit off the back end of the Williams driver there. And unfortunately, there we go. Just so much better traction out of the corner. So much better straight line speed. And Felipe Massa has drove off down the road. But now we have to deal with Carlos Sainz Jr. with 2 laps left to go in this race. He is right on my tail. And here we go, going through this left-hander once again. In towards the chicane. Who's going to come out on top in me and Carlos Sainz? It's side by side through the chicane. And once again, the AI just giving us a bit too much room there. And it makes it a very, very easy move to defend against Carlos Sainz. But now coming into this right-hander of the final corner, we've got Carlos Sainz Jr. right behind us as we go down the start-finish straight to start the final lap at this Australian Grand Prix. He's got the slipstream, he's got the DRS, he's moving to the right-hand side. Surely he's got the job done. Braking a little bit earlier to try and get the cutback move, trying to hold it round the outside through turn 2. It's not quite going to happen here at the Australian Grand Prix, but we're going to just have to try and stay behind the Toro Rosso driver for as long as we possibly can. Having a little look down the inside in towards turn 3. Not quite able to go for a move there. Through turn 4. Carlos Sainz still staying ahead of us at the moment, but we are doing a good job of staying behind the Toro Rosso drive. We have Romain Grosjean also quite close behind us as well. There you can see Romain Grosjean coming up behind us, but through the exit, just losing the back end just a little bit as we got very, very close to the back of Carlos Sainz. Now through this right hand, we could have a good opportunity down in towards the chicane, getting so close to the back of the Toro Rosso driver without hitting him, so close to his gearbox, and now through this very, very long fast sweeping left-hander down towards the chicane. Can we get a move on Carlos Sainz down here? We're just a little bit too far behind, but no, we call up so much under braking. Carlos Sainz giving us so much room round the outside, and let's have a look at a replay of what happened there. Carlos Sainz through the left-hander gives us the room on the right-hander, no contact whatsoever, just drove himself off the track, and there we go, remaining on to P6 in this race. Coming through the last couple of corners now. It's been a fantastic first race of the season. A fantastic debut for Renault F1 team. And through the final corner, we're going to come home for P6. 8 whole points in this F1 2016 career mode. I did not know that I was going to get P8 after qualifying down in 19th position. Starting the race in 14th because of penalties. But, oh my god, P6. What a fantastic result in this Australian Grand Prix. Oh, okay, I guess we're so far back that the podium has started without us still on our... And why are we the race winner? Why does it say race winner? Did we win the race? No, don't say we've won the race and we've got points for that, because we shouldn't do that. Please say it fixes itself, because that is really, really bad. No, there we go, P6. Okay, it's all fixed itself. That's all right.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix.
So there we go, Lewis Hamilton wins today's Australian Grand Prix, wins the first race of the 2016 season, so well done to him. Nico Rosberg finishes in second with Max Verstappen in third, Kimi Räikkönen in fourth, Felipe Massa in fifth. You know, he had a really, really good run on those super soft tyres, and well done to him. So much quicker than us at the end of the day. We managed to get home in 6th position in this Australian Grand Prix, which is a fantastic result. Roman Grosjean as well in 7th from 21st on the grid, so well done to him as well. Carlos Sainz finished in 8th with Nico Hülkenberg 9th, and Sergio Perez managed to get back up into the top 10 and get a point. Julian Palmer down in 18th place, disappointingly, and there we have Sebastian Vettel and Pascal Wehrlein as the 2 drivers who did not finish in this race. Having a look at the Drivers' Championship, which is exactly the same as how the race finished. So Lewis Hamilton currently leads the way on 25 points. There's nothing really to talk about there because it's exactly the same as how this race finished. Let's have a look at how this affects the Constructors' standings, because that will be a little bit different. So in the Constructors' standings, Renault, we are currently in 5th position on 8 points. Mercedes lead the way on 43 after that 1-2. Red Bull are in 2nd on 15. Ferrari are 3rd on 12. Williams on 10. And we're on 8. So we're not too far behind the Ferrari and the Red Bull. But obviously, as the season goes on, that is definitely going to change. We're going to be more of a battle with, I'm going to say, Haas and Toro Rosso, and possibly McLaren as well, as they start to get points as the season goes on. So, as long as we beat Sauber and Manor, then I would definitely be happy with this. But that is it for this Australian Grand Prix. Let's head back to the menus. So there we go, having a look at the rivalry update. We managed to beat Julian Palmer in the race. We were both penalty free, which is good, and we beat him in Sector 1, Sector 2, Sector 3, and of course in the fastest lap as well. And that will definitely help us in the driver position for the team, so that is very, very good. We get +1 for session goal, beating our teammate, and being above 16th in the Drivers' Championship as well. An introduction to career score, so this must just be like what was in F1 2010 to 2014 sort of rank, which helps you get different drives for different team. Obviously, the higher rank you are, the better the team you get, or unless it's just comparing it for that race. I'm not too sure. We'll see as the season goes on. No, it does change for the season. So yeah, it is kind of like that was in F1 2010 and F1 2014. But looking back at the laptop once again, so we're currently beating our teammate Julian Palmer in the rival. We have got some more resource points to spend. Our engine should hopefully be done by the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we're going to spend these research points on the drag of our car, because I said this earlier, I want to sort out the straight line speed on this car, get it really, really quick in the straight line, like for tracks like Bahrain, for example, which has a lot of straights, and Austria and China, which has that very, very long straight. So we're going to try and maximize those sort of tracks, just try and get the best that we possibly can in terms of straight line speed, and then we build on the aerodynamics as the season goes on. There's just confirmation we got 6th in the Australian Grand Prix, and hopefully those results will improve as the season goes on. But that is it for my first race on F1 2016. There will be a career mode episode every single day for the whole of season 1. I'm going to try and keep up with that. Unfortunately, if there is a day that I drop it, I'm really, really sorry about that, but I do have other stuff going on as well, so sorry about that, but I will try and get a career mode episode out every single day. Don't forget to smash this like button. Don't forget to smash that like button if you have enjoyed this video. Also subscribe to my channel if you are new around here. I do have more Formula 1 content on this channel across the weekend as well, so you can definitely look forward to that. But that is it for this F1 2016 episode 1 of the career mode. Join me next time at the Bahrain Grand Prix for episode 2. But until then, it's goodbye from me.